Hello and welcome back to the last episode of this season for From Root to Crown with Rebe. This has been such a fascinating experiment for me, my first foray into podcasting, and I have loved it. I cannot wait to come back for season 2 this fall. That being said, I am really thankful that today is the last episode I have to record until the fall. Life has gotten really lifey for me, and it's funny how it brings this topic that I already had scheduled out to talk today about, which is grounding and keeping your energy grounded and keeping yourself centered, is so timely. So first, I'm going to do just a little bit of a life update. I've never done one of these on the podcast. We'll see how it goes. And then we'll get into grounding real time as I walk you through a couple of my favorite practices to keep my energy clear and to keep it settled. So my mom has been in the hospital for the last week, and I have 2 teenage kids. Plus, I am the primary caregiver for my mom. And this is the 4th time she's been admitted to the hospital in 14 months. So it has been quite an interesting roller coaster ride over the last year. So we are actually in the process of getting ready to move her into assisted living. There's a lot of feelings that are coming up with that. It's end of the school year for my kids, and there's just a lot of different places that need my attention right now. And so I've been feeling a little smushed, as a technical term. I have been definitely feeling that sandwich generation of needing to care for my own family, myself, and my parents, my mom. And it has it's been a week, y'all. I actually had a meeting with my coach and Reiki master earlier, and I was like, I just need help. How do I stay centered? How do I stay grounded in all of this? And she ever so lovingly reminded me to get back to basics and to make sure that I'm doing something that's grounding every single day. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Like I said, funny enough, Universe SCU, I already had this on the schedule for today. So obviously it was appropriately channeled through the universe as to what I need to be talking about. So some of my favorite ways to ground are coming up, but first let's start with what even is that? That is a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot. What does getting grounded mean? For me, getting grounded is, one, the act of actually putting your feet on the ground, feeling your feet and feeling into that energy and that support of the ground, the floor pushing up against you. There is science that the earth has a different electrical charge than our bodies do. So when we put our bare feet, our hands, our skin into dirt, onto the grass, not concrete, not your hardwoods, but in grass, on the dirt, sand, water, all of those, there is a transference of energy, and it allows the extra energy to be released from your body and go into the ground. And it's also anything that brings you back to the present moment, that gets you out of your mind, living from your neck up and getting back into your body and really allowing yourself to be in the present moment right here, right now, and not ruminating about the past or worrying about the future and the to-do list, bringing yourself back to this breath, this moment right here, right now. So grounding can be a very useful process. It can also be a very quick and simple process. You know that I am all about practicality with my spirituality here. So we are going to hit super, super simple things that you can do when you are in a season of life, just like I am right now, where it's intense and there's not a whole lot of extra time available for really long, juicy practices. So the first thing, we've already covered it. My number one tip for grounding is getting out into nature. 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, if that's all that you can handle. If you're going from thing to thing, even just taking a second and putting your hands on the ground to recenter yourself back in this moment, in your body, in this, in this space. So just putting your feet in the grass if you can, taking a couple of deep breaths and allowing yourself to lean into that energy and letting go of whatever you can just for those 30 seconds. I have started doing this as I go in and out of my house, where I can just take a moment when I'm standing outside, even if I still have my shoes on, if I can put my hand on a flower, on a plant, in the grass of my yard, just taking that second to allow myself to really transition between whatever it was I was just doing, whatever phone call I was just having, and the next thing, whether it's caring for my mom or running carpool for my kids. So getting out into nature is the number one tip. If you can take a longer walk, if you can spend more time in the grass, great. I'm highly allergic to bugs, and we are in the middle or just the beginning of the cicada bloom in my part of the country. It is disgusting outside. It's very buggy outside. Your girl is not a forest fairy. That's for that's for sure. So I do better with smaller pieces of nature and grounding outside in nature, but I do really enjoy taking a walk. However, you can incorporate nature in, whether that's moving a houseplant onto your desk or into the part of your home that you're making most of your phone calls. Just bringing some sort of nature in is really going to serve your energy well and help you ground yourself. My second favorite way to get grounded is going to come as no surprise to anybody. It is meditation or breath work. These are both really great tools to have in your back pocket. And it can be as simple as 2 deep breaths. You can do that at a stoplight. So whenever you're feeling those shoulders creep up, your energy spinning, and you're feeling untethered, taking the time, if you can, put your hand on your heart and just taking 2 deep breaths is going to start the process of bringing you back to alignment, to who you are wanting to be, and bringing your energy down again from that neck up, stuck in your head mode, down into your body by taking those 2 deep breaths. If you can do a longer, juicier practice, I highly encourage that. Everything from just do one song, meditate for one song, do some sort of breath work for one song, to a full 30-minute session. That if you have the time, take it unapologetically and use it. And I'm actually going to give you 2 more grounding techniques that are really useful. One is cord cutting. And I don't think I've really talked about cord cutting yet on the podcast. That's another thing that can be done in a multitude of ways. The way that I really like to do it is to get into a meditative state if I have the time. Again, it'd take maybe about 10 minutes to do what I'm going to describe here. So I like to get into a meditative state and allow myself to just ask my body, where am I feeling energy leaks? Where am I feeling a cord attached between me and an event or a person or a thing, a situation, what have you? And asking myself as I find each of these cords, is this serving me? And this isn't about cutting people out of your life. This is about not allowing them to have unfettered, unrestricted access to your energy. This is about setting energetic boundaries around yourself and dissolving things that maybe on a normal day don't bother you, but when your window of tolerance, when you're under pressure, when you're that window of where you're feeling regulated gets more narrow, and you may need to remove more of these energetic ties between you and the people and places and things and situations going on around you. And again, it's not that you don't care. This is about removing that emotional attachment to whatever it is. For instance, in my current situation, I know that the move that we are doing, moving her from independent living to assisted living, is causing her a lot of anxiety. And because we are so close, I find myself taking on that anxiety. I find myself even projecting that anxiety onto my mom, and it's not really mine. I'm aligned. I know that this is the right thing, but it's upsetting me that it's upsetting her, right? Do you see the difference there? So it's not that I'm not going to move forward with caring for my mom. It's not that I'm not going to move forward with this move. It's simply that if I can remove this negative emotional drain, this energetic drain that she's feeling her feelings, she's entitled to her feelings, but I don't need to take those feelings on. So what I have been doing is cutting that cord between us so that her anxiety is not pulling from my energy, and my energy is not feeding into the anxiety that she's feeling about this upcoming move. So as you get into your meditative state and envision where these cords might be, allow yourself to intuitively visualize them. What are they made out of? What's the texture of these cords? What's the color of the cords? Is there movement? Can you see a flow of energy in these cords? Is it just like barbed wire with hooks on the end? Or is it soft, fuzzy yarn? Allowing yourself to really feel into where they're connected into your energetic body and what they're made out of then allows you to really recognize that this is there, what it's attached to on the other end, and ask yourself if this is a cord that needs to be dissolved. And if it is, you have a couple of options. You can either envision scissors and cutting the cord just like it sounds. You can make a break. I like to make an X with my hands right across my chest and then kind of snap my arms down and out to the side, symbolizing that I'm cutting these cords and then shaking them off. You can also just envision them detaching and then dissolving. If you'd like, you can gather them up and push them away from you. You can gather up these cords and envision a pit in front of you and either bury them. You can burn them first and then bury them, depending on the energetic connection and the amount of release that you need to feel of these cords. But all of these things allow you to really symbolically and energetically cut these ties that are unwelcome draws on your energy. Now, if you're moving quickly from thing to thing, you can just simply do that X across your body, shake off your hands, be like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm moving on, but I'm not going to bring whatever that energy is, whatever that drain is, with me into the next thing that I need to focus on. This is really helping me as I'm switching tasks between client work, my family, myself, and caring for my mom. As I switch between each of those focus points, I'm cutting the cords so that none of the energy from any of those pieces of my life is bleeding over into the others. Before I move on to my last grounding practice, as an aside on just energy protection, one of the things that I have started doing is making sure that I am clearing out my energy and literally envisioning a bubble of Reiki energy around myself so that only the things that benefit me are permeating through that bubble. You can either see it as like one of those, like gerbil balls that you would put your favorite furry small friend in and let them run around in. You can see it as a bubble of light. You can also zip up your energy, starting at your feet, envisioning a zipper, zip all the way up your energy so that it's like right here at your nose, leaving your third eye and your crown open so that your energy is protected, right? Like you're zipping yourself into a sleeping bag so that you are cocooned, but still open to source, still open to your senses around you. However you want to envision this. For me, I just like to use Reiki, obviously being a Reiki master here, to cleanse my energy and set the intention that it is impermeable to things that are just energy detractors. So if you have any questions about other ways that you can protect your energy or cut cords, again, first and foremost, go with your intuition, go with your gut. I don't make things a big complicated ritual if I'm feeling like something simple will suffice. And if I only have a couple of minutes or seconds, then that's good enough. Give yourself permission, though, to play and experiment and be led by your intuition into the ritual or the practice that feels really supportive and juicy for you. If you love something that I haven't mentioned here, I love that for you. That is perfect. I'm just sharing the ways that I have found supportive, and I hope that that gives you some options as you continue on your own experiment here. All right, last thing, and then I'm going to sign off for the summer. If you are really wanting to support your energy with grounded energy, I have a couple of fantastic crystals that I want to recommend. First and foremost, smoky quartz. I mentioned it last week in the beginner's kit because it is such a workhorse, and I have them all over my house. Smoky quartz is one of my absolute favorites. They are an energetic vacuum. So they remove negative energy from the area that they're in. I have one at every entrance to my house, and I often wear smoky quartz either in a bracelet or earrings or some other form of jewelry because it gives me a boost of solid energy, grounded energy, and protection, because it's removing that negative energy before it even has a chance to hit my aura. Black tourmaline is also another grounding protective stone. It's got a really solid energy to it. I always have one right here on my desk. And then probably my third favorite stone for grounding is one called rhodonite. And rhodonite, I recommend to just about everybody. It is the true stone of self-love. And it's self-love not in I'm going to take a shower and call this self-care. No, this is like self-acceptance. And it's this really deep, solid energy to rhodonite. I love it for anyone who is looking for love, looking for a stone if they're working on self-worth, because it's truly about accepting and honoring who you are and where you are in life right now. Rhodonite is absolutely one of my favorites. In fact, it is this big crystal back over my ear for those of you catching the video here. So crystals, again, can just support us in the intentions that we're setting. So if my intention is to have more stable energy, then I can choose my crystals to support me appropriately. All right. It's a little bit of a shorter episode, but life is lifing, and this is all I really have time and capacity for. I just wanted to share these basic practices around grounding that I needed the reminder of this week. I hope that this serves you and meets you where you are and what you needed to be reminded of this week as well. I hope you have really enjoyed this season of From Root to Crown. Again, it has been such a joy and such an honor. I already have plans for season 2, so don't worry. In the meantime, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast so that you will get notified the minute I publish the first episode of season 2. I also may pull out the breathwork and meditation pieces and release those over the summer as bonus episodes in between the 2 seasons. So hit that subscribe or follow button so that you can get notified as soon as those things go live. I will also be sharing about those things on my social media. You can find me at Rebe Goebel. I will tag to my Instagram and YouTube channels here in the show notes. So you will have those. And as always, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one for breathwork, Reiki work, or a combination of the two, you can head to my website and find all the details there. Thank you for joining me today and this season. As you navigate your path, may you continue to honor and trust your intuition, cultivate self-love, and embrace the beauty of your unique journey. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, rate, and review From Root to Crown with Rebe on your preferred podcast platform. Your feedback is invaluable and will help us reach even more wisdom seekers just like you during our break and when we come back in season 2. Stay connected by following me on social media. Until next time, may your roots be strong and may your crown be open to source. Take care and brightest blessings.